In Abose, the days began and ended with the river. Adi knew its moods better than her own. She could read the silver-skinned fish that leapt at dawn, the way the current sighed around certain rocks, the secret language of the kingfishers. Her hands, clever and calm, were known for mending what was broken. A cracked pot was not trash to Adi. It was a story waiting to be sealed, a flaw to be made whole with careful lines of resin and patience. It was by the river she met Kofi, and for a time his words felt like a different kind of mending. He was the chief's son, with a smile that seemed to catch all the sunlight. "Your hands don't just clean, Adi," he would say, watching her work. "They bless the clay." He spoke of the future, a future that stretched beyond the yam fields and fishing nets. A chief does not just rule a village, he'd muse, his gaze drifting to the hazy horizon where the world turned into road and city. He builds, he brings new things. Adi would smile, a soft, private thing. The river provides, the earth provides. Is that not enough? For some, Kofi would chuckle, a sound that didn't quite settle in his eyes. Not for the story they will tell of Kofi. Even then, she felt a tiny crack, fine as a hair, form in the vessel of her contentment. She mentioned it to her grandmother, Nana Serwa, a woman so old she seemed woven from the roots of the sacred baobab tree. "The wind carries whispers," Nana Serwa said, her clouded eyes seeing things the light could not touch. She was stringing beads, her fingers like dry twigs. Kofi's shadow grows long before the sun sets. It stretches towards the road. "He speaks of great things," Adi defended, but her voice was weak. "A man who talks too much about building a roof has forgotten the strength of the walls," Nana Serwa snorted. "He looks at the horizon so hard he does not see the snake at his feet, or the heart in his hand." She reached out, her touch papery and sure on Adi's cheek. "The river Osun is not just water, child. She is feeling. She loves laughter, rewards devotion, but she drowns lies." The crack widened at the new Yam Festival. Drums pulsed like a giant heartbeat, firelight licking the faces of the dancers. Adi, in her finest indigo cloth, felt beautiful under Kofi's gaze. He pulled her into the dance, their bodies moving as one. "Tonight," he shouted over the rhythm, his eyes bright, "after the praise singing, I will speak to your family. It is time." Her heart was a full, ripe fruit. Then the drums stopped. The chief stepped forward. "We welcome a stranger who brings blessings from afar." From the dark road, a procession emerged, and there she was, Akosua, daughter of a great coastal trader. She gleamed in imported cloth the color of ripe mangoes, gold at her throat and wrists. She moved like a heron through the reeds, graceful, foreign, surveying a new pond. Adi felt Kofi's hand go slack in hers. She saw it, the calculation, the rapid, ruthless reassessment. His entire being tilted towards that new, dazzling light. The crack in Adi's world became a chasm. Later, he found her by their river spot at dawn. He wore a pained nobility. "Adi, it is not what you think. My father, the alliance, it will bring wells, schools, a motor road for the whole village. My personal feelings must be a sacrifice." He spoke of duty, of progress, of a true chief's wife who understood the wider world. Each word was a stone dropped into the chasm, filling it with a cold, heavy darkness. Adi did not cry, she did not shout. She looked at the boy she loved, now a stranger playing dress-up in a man's ambitions, and felt the last of her warmth drain away. What was left was not emptiness, but a new, terrifying substance, clear, hard, and sharp as an obsidian blade. "Then you must do your duty, Kofi," she said, her voice flat. She turned and walked away, not back to the village, but upstream, into the places where the river whispered secrets and the ancient baobab trees stood sentinel. She knelt on the moss there, palms pressed to the damp earth. "I feel a debt," she said to the silent grove. "A promise was made, to me, to my family's name, to the spirits who witnessed. That debt must be settled." The leaves of the baobab tree rustled, though there was no wind. The river's murmur seemed to form words. "The balance is upset. A weight removed must be replaced." "How?" Adi asked the air. "I am just a potter's grandmother." "You have the truth," came a voice. Nana Serwa stood behind her, leaning on her stick. "Revenge is a dish, child. Served by fools, it poisons the server. Served by the wise, it restores the flavor of justice. Come, the first ingredient is not action, it is knowledge." And so Adi began to weave, not with thread, but with observation. She became a ghost in her own life, watching. She saw Kofi's clumsy performances for his city bride, his mangled proverbs, his boisterous, insecure laughter. She saw Akosu's polite boredom, her longing for city bustle beneath her regal poise. She saw the chief's disappointment, a slow-burning shame in his eyes. In the dark of her hut, by the flicker of a palm oil lamp, Adi's clever hands began to create, not to mend, but to build a trap of 3 gifts. The first was for the ear. She fashioned a small clay whistle, shaped like a swallow in flight. With a fine thorn, she painted it with intricate symbols, the wavy lines of the river Osun, the stool of the chief, and a subtle interconnected pattern, a spider's web. She baked it until it was hard, and its song, when she tested it, was piercingly clear, a lonely sound over a great distance. She gave it to a traveling cloth seller bound for the coast. "Tell the music seller in the big market," she instructed, "it is a whistle for calling the wind of change." The second gift was for the hand. She took a large, plain calabash gourd. Its outside she left smooth and unadorned, but inside she painted a mixture of crushed carbon, bitter herbs, and a fine iridescent powder from crushed beetle shells. It looked like nothing, a simple dark vessel. A container of potential, Nana Serwa called it, a knowing glint in her milky eyes, but also of memory. The third gift was her performance. She waited for the wedding. It was a grand, joyless affair, an alliance cemented in cowrie shells and fine cloth. When the time came for village gifts, Adi stepped from the shadows. The crowd hushed. Kofi's smile froze. Akosu looked on curiously. Adi walked straight to the city bride, holding the plain calabash. She did not glance at Kofi. "Lady Akosu, welcome to Abose. Our ways are simple but deep. This is a gift from the heart of this village." Her voice was a clear bell in the tense air. "This is a vessel of potential. In our tradition, a new bride uses such a calabash to collect the first dew of the morning, to bless her new home. It is said that what is poured into it with a pure heart becomes multiplied. May it hold only sweetness for you." It was perfect, poetic, traditional, dripping with a grace that shamed Kofi's flashy pretensions. Akosu, touched by the genuine beauty of the custom, accepted it with her first real smile of the day. "It is beautiful in its purpose, thank you." The trap was baited. The first thread was tied. The second thread tightened weeks later in the bustling coastal market. Akosu's father, Osei, showed off his new son-in-law, and there on a velvet cloth gleamed Adi's whistle. The shrewd music seller knew its value. "A piece of the old world singing of the new," he told the trader. "They say it helps a leader find his true voice." Kofi's eyes lit up. True voice. He had to possess this symbol of destined legitimacy. He paid a small fortune for it, a trophy for his new home. He would blow it often, its shrill, lonely note a soundtrack to his imagined greatness, a sound that grated on Akosu's nerves and meant nothing to the wind. The gifts were in place. Now Adi waited, for a man's nature is the strongest current of all. Life in the new hut was a discordant song. Expensive city stools wobbled on the dirt floor. Akosu sighed for boredom. Kofi blew his whistle, lost in his imagined fantasy. The beautiful calabash sat on a shelf, a relic of the